Yes, hello. Let me unmute you so that. Okay.
Yes, hello, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm fine.
So, how many participants are going to join us?
Unfortunately, most of them are, there is an installation going on.
Yes.
Most of them are, but they will try to connect from the field.
From the phone? Sorry, hello?
Yes?
Yeah, so others are joining or?
Yeah, they will join, but there's no problem.
We can resume.
You can just continue.
Okay, so I don't know. There's some issue raised on WhatsApp about you guys speaking French, and I don't know how.
Yeah, most of them are speaking French, but I will try to just explain if they are not catching.
Okay, so what I will do, I'm going to. I don't know if there was a specific topic you guys wanted to be trained about, but what I had in mind is I train you on our certification.
Yes.
So the certification basically involves training on our product. So it's a path certification learning path. Let me just share with you the document.
Okay.
So it's called the DHSA VSS certification.
Yes.
So what it entails a training more of the basic part of for our products, including basic Cctv information, basic network information. Then we talk about our products. So and then configuration, troubleshooting, and installation. Then we finish.
Yes.
So I was thinking in mind I give you this training, but if you feel maybe there's a part that you guys are sure that you are okay with, we can leave it out. Then by the end, I will talk to you about how to get certified and do the exam. I think that's okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yes, and also
if you can, if you can maybe send, I think you will send some links.
Yeah, I'll send some link, and also this session is being recorded, so I'll send you the video to you later, so that maybe if you're going to interpret to your fellow colleagues, it would be easier.
Yes, that's great.
So let me just introduce myself.
Okay.
So my name is Shelton. I'm the person in charge of trainings.
Yes.
And I also do projects at Pfa Technology. So the other two guys that I added in the group called Zephania and Brian, they are our technicians also. One of them is in charge of repairs, and the other is in charge of pre-sale.
Okay.
So pre-sale in terms of helping the pre-sale phase of projects. Yes. That is, if you are going to do some project and you need some documentation, you need some assistance in creating the price list, quotation.
Yes.
Products. He'll be the guy who is in charge of. I think maybe in our next meeting we can they'll introduce themselves, because at this point they're not in the office at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. Because for shopping, I'm buying from Dubai.
Oh, you're buying from Dubai?
Yes, I'm buying from Dubai.
Okay.
Only Dawa. I'm just installing Dawa.
Oh, nice.
Before I was just installing network IP cameras, but now because of the demand, I'm starting with another.
Oh, that's okay. There was a friend of mine coming to Rwanda to open a shop there. I'm not sure. I'll check with him whether he opened the shop.
In Rwanda or in Burundi?
Or maybe you can be getting even products from one of our distributors here locally. So
I think in Rwanda it must be expensive.
Yeah, from We'll find a way whether to organize for you guys better pricing.
Yes.
Yeah. So the guy who is the best guy to talk with for such case will be Nick. So I don't know if you have the Nick guy is our head of technical.
Yes.
So that he's a Chinese guy. So we'll can arrange for the same.
No problem.
Yes.
Because the market in Dubai is very limited. Some models I'm not getting.
Okay, we'll also check whether how we can accommodate you guys so that you can have good pricing. Yeah. Okay, so I think we'll begin. So for the order of the day, we're going to begin. Just go straight towards what the certification entails. Then we can start training on the same. Maybe if there's something that you feel that is not clear, you can ask me to elaborate more, or if you feel there's something that you are comfortable with, you can just leave it. You can tell me to just leave it.
Sure.
Okay. So just give me a minute before I. So can you see my screen?
Yes, of course, I'm seeing.
Okay, so what I'm going to take you through is the HSA VSS certification. So at the basic level of our certification, this is the certification that you are offering. Maybe some of us. Some of the certification that you are offering, we can go through so that maybe later after the training, I'll show you, I'll tell you how to can get certified and go through the process. So at the basic level of certification, we have the HSA. Now we move to the HSP, then the HSC. So the training and certification is free.
Yes.
From this basic, but at some point, if you reach some specialized certification, there's some small fee that you pay.
Okay.
But for at this point, you don't need to worry any other payment or something like that.
Oh, good. That's good.
Yeah. So based on the coursework, we'll begin with a brief introduction of CCTV system.
Yes.
So for our CCTV system, I think you understand there's for security mode, you can do a human defense, physical defense, or technical defense. What you're going to focus more is on the technical defense and the video surveillance.
Okay.
So the three aspects of security that exist are delaying, detection, and response. So for you to be able to respond to a security, you need to have detected, and there's that delay between response and detect. And an effective security system, the response time should be less than the delay time and detection time.
Yes.
So components of CCTV systems include the transmission, the camera, the front end, the middle end, and the back end.
Yes.
So including transmission, the front end, the camera side, storages, and the display side.
I think so that one we can
be jumping this one.
Yeah, we can jump it.
Yeah, but I think I'll just be brushing through, but because of the certification at times the certification might cover the small details that might have left. Okay, although I'll send the document later, I need to prepare it for you to access it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have the analog system. So basic for analog surveillance, you'd have an analog camera, including sensors and a pickup. I don't know if you know about this pickup.
Not yet. What does it?
A pickup is like a microphone that is used to get clear images from the sound or eliminating noise.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just like a microphone, or even sensors.
Yes,
You can connect sensors directly to the cameras. So these are an HD analog system, and also speed bump PTZ cameras. For IP system, so there is just basically the same configuration. However, in transmission, you just need a network transmission with a switch. And maybe something here to talk about is EPA technology. So you can do EPA technology transmission up to 800 meters with switches. And we have switches that support such. Later in transmission, we talk about switches, we'll talk about that.
Yes.
So system components, the camera. So different cameras can be installed in different scenarios, like corridors, entrances. So typically for a bullet installation side is a corridor. In entrance scenario, you need a dome camera. And in a scenario like corners, you need an eyeball camera.
Okay.
It's like dome, but however, the difference is that you can twist this. You can twist this point here, can be changed. So for panoramic views, you can have fisheye or panoramic cameras. In higher altitude, we have PTZ and ATMs. So basically, these are just installation scenarios for different cameras. Components of transmission, we have cables and we have wired transmission. We have wired and wireless transmission. So Dahua provides all these wired and wireless. So interfaces for analog cameras, we have BNC connectors, RJ45 normal for wired transmission, and even fiber for switches. So we also have support models for cameras that have fiber interfaces. Storage scenario. So while categorizing the products, in storages, we are going to categorize the EVS, NVR, and DVR in the storage category. So storage including EVS, even cloud storage. So if you want to create your own cloud storage or a cloud solution, you can employ our EVS. Yeah. So system components in the display. So we offer LCD display, LED display, and DLP display. So for advertisement cases, you can use this. The LED outdoors. System and control. So for control, we talk about what can be used to help you achieve better surveillance or improve your surveillance, make it easier. So we talk about video matrix, decoder, and network keyboard. If maybe you don't know about a video matrix and a decoder are used to achieve a video wall. Like if you're going to have maybe 9 screens connected to create a video wall, a video matrix will help you to manipulate the big screen in which way you want.
Okay.
Yes. Or while a decoder will it's only fixed. You cannot customize those screens into different views that you want to create.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe some other part of component that you talk about is IMO, DSS, and industrial platform. So IMO, I don't know if you have interacted with IMO cameras.
Not yet.
So
Yes,
IMO cameras,
but
yeah, they are our subsidiary brand. So they mostly deal with consumer case scenarios. Those very little surveillance or those little surveillance in the homestead cases, and it has their own platform. Yeah. DSS is our platform. So DSS is actually focus at the key point. Key product is the DSS. DSS, you can integrate any of our DAWA product into the DSS. It's a management platform for any of our product.
Yes, I'm using it.
You're using DSS?
Yes, it's smart DSS.
Not smart PSS. It's a DSS. So maybe later in terms of softwares that we are using in DAWA, I'll do a separate topic on the same regarding the softwares that we offer as DAWA. Then I'll explain more. Okay. So like DSS is a very bigger than smart PSS, very smart than smart PSS.
Okay.
Yeah, give me a minute, I get my charger then. So for platform, we have industrial based platforms.
Yes.
So platform is more of specialized aspect of surveillance, so including parking management system, video management system, etc. But for this case, for this training, BSS certification, we just talk. We'll cover a bit of software, not all.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's all for the introduction part. So can allow me to go to the next next.
Yes, you can go.
Next slide, which is introduction of cameras. So in basic introduction of camera, so for assisting topology, we're going to focus on this part. So throughout this training, we are going to talk about these different levels. Like we begin with this camera side, we go to recorder, then transmission and display. So we're going to focus on the camera, both analog and IP camera. So how do we categorize our cameras? So we can categorize our cameras based on the sensor type the camera has, the signal, whether it's an IP or analog signal, the definition in terms of resolution the camera offers, in a day or night operation mode. So we talk about this, what an ICR is. We talk about image mode, HLC, BLC. So while later in the course, when we are going to talk about how we are naming our products, especially you guys if you are dealing with the sales side, the sales team need to understand if you see a number in a camera, you know what the number represents. So we're going to talk about that later in the course.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's talk about just these features about CCD, what these functions are in a camera. So in camera categories, we have three categories of our cameras. So we have the traditional analog cameras, that is those cameras that were manufactured in maybe 2018 or back or 2016, the very old ones. Then we have the analog cameras. These are the new analog cameras which support resolution even up to 4K and 5 megapixels.
Yes. And
then we have the IP cameras or the network cameras. So basically that's how we categorize the cameras generally. In terms of camera appearances, so we can have different camera appearances categories. So like we have boxed cameras. So these boxed cameras are mostly cameras that do face recognition or specialized functions like face recognition, face NPR, or so and so. Then we have IR bullet camera. We have vandal-proof dome cameras. We have eyeball cameras. So the difference, you can note the difference between a dome and a vandal and an eyeball dome camera. See an eyeball dome camera, it has this that can be rotated. Well, the dome is just one package.
Yes.
Then we have the speed dome cameras. Those are so there's a difference between a speed dome and a PTZ. So we get to know in functions later what's a speed dome and a PTZ. But generally, if someone is coming to purchase a product, they will call this a PTZ.
Yes.
But in naming rule, later we'll come and see a naming of products. We'll see something like a SD. So this stands for speed down.
Okay.
So we have panoramic cameras. So panoramic cameras are cameras that can view angles of up to 180 degrees.
Yes.
So like this, we have these ones that can also view in 180 degrees, different lenses. You can see you have one lens here, there's another here.
Yes.
Yes, for a wider view. Then mobile cameras. So if you're going to do logistics and a logistics company, or maybe you need to do surveillance over something that's mobile, especially vehicles, you can use, we have mobile solutions for the same. Even elevators. So such cameras can be installed in elevator cases. So this one,
okay.
Yes, the mobile camera. So also maybe category, you have a passive infrared, you suggest maybe accessories and IoT cameras and number plate recognition cameras.
Okay.
Yeah. So later we'll talk about them in product introduction of DAO.
Okay.
So we talked about this. So panoramic camera. So you understand by the word panoramic, it views 180 degrees. Panoramic, we have fisheye. We have this such kind of cameras, and we have cameras that have multiple lenses. Like this camera here, it has a PTZ at the bottom, and here we have a lot of more lenses here. So to give this big panoramic view and different views. So at the end, this camera only uses one IP.
One IP?
Yes, one IP, but multiple lenses. Even
okay.
This one also, all this uses one IP address. So a PTZ camera is a camera that can do pan, tilt, and zoom. So it means it can move at any angle, 360 degrees. So 360 degrees endless, and up and down at 190 degrees. So you can move it in any position you want. Thermal cameras. So the thermal technology can capture images even in the dark. So you can see from a normal camera, the view from normal camera, the view will be, it will see a person, but in for thermal camera, it will see a person.
Yes.
And in thermal cameras, we have cameras that can do visual and thermal. That is like this camera here at the bottom. It can see both at daytime and then at nighttime thermal. We also have this such kind of cameras that can be used in border control for projects in maybe power stations.
Okay.
Maybe come and check in solutions and US applications of different devices. So we talk maybe about working principles of cameras. So the working principle of a camera is that we have two working principles for the analog and IP camera. So typically we have the lens, sensors, and signal processors. So the way analog camera works is that it takes the image, the lens will focus the image on the sensor. Once focused on the image, the signal sensor creates a voltage which is converted to digital. Then we have the processors, that is the analog and signal, digital processors to process the signal. Later, the signal will be converted to analog so that it can transmit to the DVR.
Yes.
Yeah. So the output for a camera is an analog signal. That's why you can connect the video. It's a video basically a video. While in an IP camera, after focusing this same procedure with the analog camera, the processors will process the signal, and the output will be a network signal, like a digital signal. So it will not produce an analog signal, but a digital signal. That's why you can transmit the information over the network and access it in your phone, and you can't access the analog camera in your phone. So the three main components of a camera: the lens, sensor, and a processor. We talk about deep about these three. So the lens is basically like a cornea in a human vision. So its work is just to focus the image or light into the sensor. So in a lens, we have different terms that we need to understand. We need to understand about the focal length. So you might find if you're buying a camera, some are indicated as 2 millimeters, 2.8 millimeters, 3.6. So we need to know that the longer the shorter the focal length, the smaller the image. So basically, the larger the angle, the larger the angle of view. That's why you can view everything in the network, in the viewpoint. While if you have a camera with the longer focal length, the larger the image and the smaller the angle of view. So while making orders for cameras, you can use such factors to determine which scenario applies, or which cameras are going to be used in which cases. So different types of lenses. So as much as we have the focal length here, we have scenarios where you need to adjust the focal length to meet your scenarios. So we have the fixed lens, varifocal, and motorized zoom lens. So a fixed lens is basically a lens that the focal length can't be changed. A varifocal lens is a lens that you can change the focal length, and they are quite expensive.
Yes.
Well, the motorized zoom lens are lenses that you can adjust the focal length remotely. Like you don't need to access the camera. So for this scenario, you need to change the focal length manually from your side in the varifocal lens. So a lens focus, I think you know this one. Just basically creating a clear image from.
Yes, I do.
An iris or aperture is the opening in a lens, which allows light to go to the image sensor. So we have different. If you open the iris bigger, more light will go in, and the image will be not clear. So you need to adjust it to get the appropriate image. So lens mount. So if you see from this previous image here, we have these box cameras. So, and you can see this is the body and this is the lens.
Yes.
So, yeah, sometimes you might, although it's old, but there's some customer who require such kind of cameras, and there's a way you can mount different cameras. So if you're going to get a C mount body, you need to get a C mount lens. Like this is just about how to mount the two. So if you have a CS mount, you need to use a CS mount body. And actually, it's usually indicated in the body of the camera, so there's no need to cram this, but it's good for maybe for the exam purposes. In case you need to use a C mount on a CS mount body, you can use an extension tool which can help to connect. So we talk about the camera sensor. So after the lens, we talk about the sensor. So a sensor is similar to the retina. So it has a photosensitive element which receives light and produces the voltage output similar to that light. So when the lens focuses the light here, it creates an output, but the output needs to be amplified because it's too little. So it's amplified, then converted to digital signal. Then you can go now to the processors, the ISP and DSP. So different sensor type exist, which we use in our DAWA. We have CMOS and CCD. Then we have even eye sensors, which is not mentioned in this course. So the advantages of different kind of sensors, you can check, maybe you can do a research, maybe later on the same side.
Yes.
But just know the two major categories, CCD and CMOS. So the processors the camera uses, we have the DSP and the ISP. So digital signal processor. So this like the CPU for the camera. So it processes the image digital signal, create an algorithm, improve image effect. So those functions are done by the DSP. Whilst ISP is a processor that is focused on image processing.
Okay.
So ISP processors include like NVIDIA, AMD. I think you are aware of this.
Yes.
It's silicon and umbrella etc. So we talk about camera performance. So this information here is important for the technician side because it deals with the what functions you need to understand to create better functions or better display solution. So resolution, I think you're aware of this. The lowest resolution that we offer at Dawa is CIF. If you go to substream of a camera, you can see this kind of resolution. And the highest being 4K, although we have cameras that support even up to 24 megapixels and 12 megapixels. Okay, resolution comparison. So you can see a 4K image and a 1080p camera. So the higher the resolution, the higher number of pixels in an image. So we talk about HLC, BLC, and WDR. BLC means let me just use an example. If you take a picture of someone standing next to a window or someone is in between a dark position and a bright position, the images will be different.
Yes.
So we have three called BLC, HLC, and WDR. So BLC means backlight compensation. So backlight compensation means you are having dark scenes in your forefront and you're having brighter scenes in the back front, but you need to optimize the forefront to become clear.
Yes.
So one way you can achieve that, you can increase the brightness at the forefront. However, you will still get a more brighter back one, which you cannot see here from this side. So BLC is just compensating light in the front and creating brighter images, while HLC is reducing the brightness to create clear images. WDR employs both HLC and the BLC to create better images both in the front and the back. So you can see here in the back is okay, in the front is okay.
Yes.
So by default, the WDR is on. White balance is used to correct the color temperature, to create good images. And in color, black and white images. So at daytime, by default, if the camera is not full color, it will show black normal image, and at night it will show black and white. And the sensor that is used to know difference between the day and night is this small dot here. So most of the cameras have this small dot here. ICR. So ICR is a technology that helps to remove and filter the infrared spectrum of the glass. So like different spectrum of light. So ICR will help to remove those that are not good for the image. Like during the day, with ICR off, you might experience a reddish or orange images, while at night you might experience purple images because of the infrared. But the ICR on will help to eliminate this and give you black and white images at night, while at day it will give you color images, the correct color images. We talk about low light performance. So in scenarios where you have installations of cameras like basement and you're having very dark images, what can you do to create better images? So one of the things that you can do, you can have a lens with large aperture, that is, would allow more light into the lens or the camera, so that you can have bright scenes. Another technology that you can use cameras with big sensors. That is, the sensors can process more light. Another technology that you can use is called Agc Technology. We'll talk about this Agc Technology, what it does. So it amplifies the electric signals in the environment. Maybe one of the things you can use is an illuminator. So we'll check out what an illuminator is later. So I think you understand by the term electronic shutter speed. It's basically how fast the camera can open and close the iris so that it can capture the frames of the environment to create a video. Okay. So we talk about Agc Technology. So Agc will improve the environment to create brighter images. However, it will amplify noise. So if you're having a dark scene video with Agc on, you can have brightness, but you can see this, the image is not clear. There is some like whitish dots on the screen. So we'll see how we can fix this one. So how do we reduce this noise, like this noise here for this case? So we have a technology called noise reduction in cameras. So we have cameras that support different types of noise reduction, including 2D and 3D noise reduction. So if you are using 3D noise reduction, you can see images clear compared to the images on the left, which has the small specks.
So that one by default,
yeah, it's on.
It's off.
It's on.
You have to activate it.
It's not. It's on so that it's good to understand what it is, so that you can be checking in your system if you're maybe for troubleshooting. But by default, it is on.
Okay.
Yes. So Starlight Technology. So a while back when we were introducing, this one is a technology that came out a while back, where you are going to the cameras utilizes the little light in the environment to make colorful images. So you can see a picture taken by a Starlight camera, while a picture taken by iPhone 6s. So they were comparing iPhone 6s. This was quite some time back. So an IR camera is a camera that has the infrared lights. So these ones are the IRs, which at night will light bluish, I think. Not bluish, reddish. So what is a smart IR? So smart IR is basically a better version of the IR camera. At night it will create better, not just black and white, but be able to help you to view both the front side and the back side, balancing the light, the IR light. Maybe something else to talk about for the certification purposes is the Pfa technology. So Pfa technology will help you to focus the image while doing zooming. So you can see from the video here. So a camera without a Pfa and a camera with a Pfa. So the one without a Pfa will take time to focus, while this one is focusing while zooming. So what is Dory distance? So I don't know if you have interacted with the Dory distance before, but this is an aspect for most of the cameras which help you to know the performance of a camera. So a camera with a better Dory distance will be able to detect at larger distance. You can even observe at larger distance and focus at longer distances.
Okay.
So Dory in full means detection, observing, recognition, and identification. So camera protection rating. So I think you know this one. So just a rating for cameras. For if a camera is IP68, it means you can put it inside the water and it's okay.
That's the
IP69